Good evening. The Prime Minister made what is his final speech in the current Lok Sabha, and he made a big prediction that the BJP will come back to power for a third term, and that too with an unprecedented 370 seats for the BJP and over 400 for the NDA. He says, given the mood of the nation, even the opposition is saying Abki baar 400 paar. But a reality check. How much of this is electoral rhetoric or bluster, marshalling the troops ahead of this critical election fight? And how much of this can actually become reality? Can the BJP return with 370 seats? And if it does, as the Prime Minister has predicted from the floor of the Parliament today, then A, what does it say about the state of the ruling party and the kind of trust the people of India have been showing in the BJP and in Mr. Modi term after term after term? But more importantly, what does it say about the state of the opposition? That even after 10 years, they can't even come close to unseating Modi. We'll discuss all of that in threadbare in what was a fiery speech by the Prime Minister. First, let's play out some excerpts and what it actually means. What are the areas that the Prime Minister touched upon, and what does this mean in the bigger battle for 2024?
टुकड़ों में सोचते रहोगे, कब तक समाज को बांटते रहोगे? सब सीमा करो, बहुत तोड़ा देश को। वजीर बाबू की हालत हम देख रहे हैं, वरना ये समय था संसद में रहने का, लेकिन परिवारवाद की सेवा तो करनी पड़ती है। अब हालत देखिए, हमारे खरगे जी इस सदन से उस सदन शिफ्ट हो गए और गुलाम नबी जी तो पार्टी से ही शिफ्ट कर गए। एक ऐसे कैंसिल कल्चर में कांग्रेस फंस गई है। अगर हम कहते हैं मेक इन इंडिया तो कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। हम कहते हैं आत्मनिर्भर भारत, कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। यानी मैं हैरान हूं, ये कोई मोदी की उपलब्धियां नहीं है, देश की उपलब्धियां। हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश में खास एक कहावत कही जाती है, 9 दिन चले 2.5 कोस। और मुझे लगता है कि ये कहावत पूरी तरह कांग्रेस को परिभाषित कर देती है। पूरा देश कह रहा है अब की बार, खरगे जी भी कह रहे हैं।
All right, is the tone set for the 2024 battle? Let's analyze this threadbare. I'm joined by a full panel on Tacks tonight. Shazia Ilmi is national spokesperson of the BJP. Jebi Mathur is Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress Party. A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK. And Professor Sanjay Kumar is a psephologist with CSDS. Shazia Ilmi, the Prime Minister has made a bold prediction, 370 for the BJP, 400 plus for the NDA. The only time in the Lok Sabha where there has been a 400 plus majority was in 1984. Rajiv Gandhi got that majority, of course, after the tragic assassination of his mother, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So the Prime Minister making such a prediction from the floor of the House, the opposition is saying this is just bluster, this is just muscle flexing, it's just election rhetoric. Where is the BJP going to get those extra 70 seats from?
So, Abki baar 400 paar. I think every Indian believes that. Every citizen wants that. And that is just not a slogan or a belief, but a desire of every citizen who seeks a better deal in today's times and wants a vikasit Bharat, which is a developed India and a safe India, secure India and a prosperous India. So this vote will not just be for NDA or a Prime Minister whose guarantee everybody swears by, Modi ji ki guarantee, but also for a better life for themselves. So this is less to do with parties and different parties and a Prime Minister versus others, but more to do with people themselves, which is the whole idea
But
of
where
democracy.
are you going to get those
So we
extra
will
seats
see
from,
a
Shazia?
great turnout
From
and a very
303
enthusiastic turnout.
to 370, those extra 70 seats, where are you going to get that from?
Don't worry, we'll get them all right.
Okay.
We will get them all right.
Okay.
Do you know what? First time around, when Modi ji won, what would everybody say? That it's impossible and there's so much of anti-incumbency, there is no chance. And we bettered our record and came up with 303. Would anybody imagine? I mean, nobody could imagine that this would happen.
Okay.
And this time around, you just see the way the national mood is, the way the sentiment is, and the aspirational India, or the India that seeks a better tomorrow, would want BJP to win.
Okay.
So if you go
So
state by state
we'll
by state,
we'll leave the
constituency
numbers
and
aside because
going
clearly,
down to the poll booth,
yeah,
going down
clearly, you
to
know, the
poll
BJP
booth,
will talk up the
mood
numbers.
is
The
for
opposition will
BJP.
try to talk down the BJP's numbers. But Jabi Mathur, forget about the numbers for a second. Just look at the state of the India alliance, and the Prime Minister referred to this in his speech today in the Lok Sabha. Mamata Banerjee has said that she is going it alone. Bhagwant Mann says Aam Aadmi Party will fight alone in Punjab. Nitish Kumar, who was the architect of the India alliance, the person who brought everybody together, he's now left the alliance and gone lock, stock and barrel with the BJP. The alliance, as the Prime Minister said, alliance ke alignment mein hi gadbad ho gaya.
I have no hesitation in saying our Prime Minister because he is our Prime Minister.
Okay.
But I wish to say that I feel very pathetic about the level of talk or in the floor of the House made by the Prime Minister today, because Prime Minister, I really wish, and I am sure that many of the Indian citizens would have wished that our Prime Minister understands how it is to be a statesman, how it is to be a Prime Minister, and not just the level of language, the level of content from the Prime Minister today is very, very, very unfortunate that he is going to this level. Now coming to your question of India Alliance, I mean, the Prime Minister need not worry so much about India Alliance and about Congress Party. Out of 1 hour 45 minutes, couldn't he have said anything about the issues our country is facing, issues the people of India are facing, the poor is facing, the farmers are facing, the women is facing, the youth is facing? He is so silent about issues, and 1 hour 45 minutes he speaks about he wants to mock opposition and he wants to mock Congress.
No, but
India
Jabi
Alliance,
Mathur,
it's
no,
not
one second,
like how
one
it
second.
is
You
portrayed that
mentioned
there is
about
derailment or
women
de-alignment.
and youth and farmers. These are segments that he spoke about. Now you can dispute with his math, saying whatever Ujjawala benefits have been given, Jan Dhan accounts that have been given, what has been promised to farmers, etc. You don't have to agree with it, but to say that he did not refer to sections of society, that would be incorrect, because he did. But be that as it may, the issue is not that.
No.
The issue,
what I'm saying
the
is,
issue,
did
Jabi
he
Mathur,
address
one
the
second.
issue? Did
The
he address
issue
the
is
issue that
the state,
the price rise issue?
The state
What
of
is the,
the
which is
state
the
of
biggest
the
issue
state
now?
of the opposition.
Did he attempt to
One
say
second.
about unemployment?
Jabi, give me one
People
second.
are committing suicide.
Jabi,
Women.
the choice before the people of India in 2024 is very clear. You have a Modi, a strong Sarkar, a massive majority. There's a 10-year record of his. Like I said, you don't have to like it. Not everybody will like it, but it is what it is. It is there for people to see and decide. And then on the other side, what do you have? You have a ragtag bunch of opposition parties which are not even sticking together. Your biggest USP was, if 26 parties come together, the might of the arithmetic will be on your side and you will be able to challenge Modi. Now, even that is not there with you.
No. We are very confident that we will definitely stay united as an opposition. Those who are with us are with us. Now, why do you always dilute the opposition? Okay, Nitish Kumar left is a fact. Now, if Nitish Kumar left, the RJD and the Congress in Bihar, we are confident that it is of advantage to us. We are going to win better. The seat sharing is going to be easier and more intact.
Okay.
So we are not worried about Nitish Kumar going. Somebody wants to go, they left. Now politics is a game of possibilities, not sitting and crying of what has happened.
Okay.
Now we do not intend to think that one Nitish Kumar left and that's the end of everything.
Okay,
No, it's
fair
not.
enough, fair
Why
enough.
do you always dilute it? We have so many states on our side.
Mr. A.
We
Sarvanan,
together.
Okay. Let me ask A. Sarvanan of the DMK. Let's leave aside the states and the State of the India Alliance. Forget about all of that. Ultimately, people are going to vote either for the record of the Modi government and what he has done, or they are going to vote against it. Some people don't like his record, some people don't like what his government has done, they're going to vote against it. One of these two things is going to happen. Mr. Modi, through his 1 hour 45-minute speech, essentially laid out what he believes his government has done in the last 10 years. Whether it is 10 crore Ujjawala schemes, 10 crore Swachh Bharat toilets that have been built, the number of Jan Dhan accounts that have been opened. But the opposition has reduced the entire narrative, or the entire narrative of this election to, they are a Hindu majoritarian government, they are not inclusive, they are anti-minorities, so on and so forth. You have reduced this to just one issue and are looking at it from a narrow prism of Ram Mandir and majoritarian politics. Whereas there is welfareism, there is Labharti. And these people, time after time, election after election, including the recent, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh elections, there is evidence to show that the Labhartis have voted for the BJP.
Yeah. See, Zakka, this speech fades into oblivion, especially after listening to what Hemant Charan had spoken. He is the voice of the oppressed in this country. He pointed out how the BJP government chases away, wants to imprison the oppressed class. When compared with that, probably Modi should have chosen some other day to make a speech. And on top of that, today what happened in the Supreme Court, the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, thundered that it is a murder of democracy. What has the BJP got to say? Does the Prime Minister have any answers to that? See, if the BJP has left with modicum of shame, what they should have done, they should have called up that mayor from Chandigarh, should have resigned. They should have had a poll. They should not have waited for the Chief Justice of India to speak about the despicable state of democracy in our country. This is what we are facing day in and day out. And if you look at the speech of the Prime Minister, how different it is from the 1,000 other speeches he has made in the last 10 years. He is speaking about Nari Shakti. What a shame. How audacious the Prime Minister is to speak about Nari Shakti when he has Brij Bhushan having a red carpet welcome in the new parliament. The Delhi police says, will you grant him bail or no? We are not bothered, because he is an MP from BJP. And they have the temerity, audacity to speak about Nari Shakti and Ujjawala scheme. What is the price of the gas cylinder now? How did the BJP come into power? They spoke about the petrol price rise, the diesel price rise, the LPG cylinder price rise, and also the value of Indian rupee to the American dollar. Where are those landmarks now? If we look at those marks, how has the Modi government performed in the last 10 years? They have made 1%. 2% have become super rich. One is Mr. Adani. He became the second richest man in the whole world. And BJP, 5,272 crores.
One second.
That is the kind of money BJP has amassed in the last 10 years as donations.
Points, not just for the Lok Sabha 2024. These have been opposition talking points for a number of elections now, assembly elections and other elections.
Just a moment.
Whether or not it will work, let's leave it to the people of India. One second, Sarvanan. Let me bring in Professor Sanjay Kumar.
I'll answer this, Zakka.
No, I'll come back to you, Sarvanan.
Listen to this also.
I'll come back to you.
10 seconds.
Okay.
See, this is not an opposition talking point. When we pay 100 rupees instead of 60 rupees for the petrol, the 40 rupees is swindled by the union government.
Okay.
So that the corporate cronies get a loan waiver.
Fair enough. Let me ask Professor Sanjay Kumar. If these are all issues that are burning the people of this country, unemployment, price rise, price of petrol, diesel, LPG, etc., Why are we not seeing evidence of that in election after election? Why are people still voting for the BJP despite, as the opposition says, all of these plethora of issues? Or are people forgetting about these issues, or are these issues less relevant than some of the other issues that have come to the fore, whether it is Ram Mandir, feeling of Hindu pride, or whatever the n number of issues that the BJP has put forth?
Zakka, I think you have answered the question in your last statement. See, I don't deny that there is anxiety among the people with regard to price rise or unemployment, because prices have gone up, unemployment is on a rise. So these are the anxieties among the people. But what is happening over last 5-7 years, that people weigh different issues, and when they look at price rise and unemployment, and when as the negative points of the present government, but if they also try and weigh it from the achievements, and the achievements you have already mentioned, there are other issues on which they think that the government has been able to do very well, whether it is about Ram Mandir, whether it is about
What are the achievements, sir?
Article 370,
What are the
whether it is about lifting India's image in the world, how India's image in the world has gone up because of Prime Minister Modi's strong leadership. So there are two issues. On one side, they do acknowledge, and this has come elections after election in various surveys which we have conducted, that people show their anxieties. But at the same time, people also believe that India has become stronger in the world, and there are different achievements of the government. So what is happening is that people's voting choices are getting shaped by the positives, not by the negatives, and they think negatives are too small compared to what Modi government has been able to achieve during last 10 years.
Okay, Shazia Elmi, please respond to what Professor Sanjay Kumar said, and also what the two opposition spokespersons said, that when you talk about record of a government, you should talk about what you've done for price rise, price of LPG, petrol, etc. But instead, the Prime Minister was focused on Nehru and Indira Gandhi, stuff that happened 50, 60 years ago.
No, I think he spoke about everything, and he spoke about the record of Modi government, and it was also about what the promise and delivery is about, and why there is little gap between the two. Now let's look at the GDP, and it's important to talk about that. Now we're looking at a growth of 7.7%. Now, and the GDPs actually grew by 7.8 in the second quarter. And if you look at Niti Aayog and you look at the figures across different parameters, you will find a very strong and a resilient India, and it's the fastest growing economy. But imagine 25 crore Indians being lifted out of multi-dimensional poverty. Now that's a huge number. It's never happened before. It's unprecedented. Look at 80 crore Indians now getting free rations, food grains up to 5 kilos. That's huge.
So Shazia, I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad you brought that. No, just give me 10 seconds. I'm glad you referred to that both in sentences right next to each other. If 25 crore people have been lifted out of poverty, then why do 80 crore people need your free food grains?
Exactly.
Wait, let her answer.
Exactly.
Let her answer.
No, but I'm answering. But if you look at 25 crore people, if you see the dimensions, where there is health, where there is food security, and you'll realize that it's just not food grains, it's access to health, education, and overall welfare. So these three constitute, the new additions that have been made is also housing, is also water. So they are less poorer than they were. It does not mean that so many numbers have, that we don't have, it's a large population, and 80 crore people have been given the subsidy because they need it.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is that also at the same time, because of the central welfare schemes, 25 crore people are being lifted out of poverty and have been lifted out of poverty. When you look at central welfare schemes vis-a-vis housing, when you look at access to water, when you look at and include that as parameters, having access to a bathroom or a toilet. So looking at, if you see what is multi-dimensional poverty, you realize that the three parameters are health, education and
Okay.
overall welfare.
You've made that
And
point. Let
all
me
with all
ask
of these
Advocate J.B.
concerned, the
Mathur.
huge numbers
You know,
of strides
one
made.
big...
Then let me come to unemployment.
One second, ma'am. J.B. Mathur, one big thing that the opposition always says is, oh, you're using IT, ED, CBI agencies, you're misusing them, only opposition politicians are being targeted. The Prime Minister addressed that issue today. And he said, A, these agencies are independent. B, if you have nothing to hide, then why are you afraid of these agencies? Mr. Hemant Soren, who Sarvanan referred to, it was the 10th summons that he showed up. 10 times, 9 times before that, he skipped the summons. Mr. Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been given 5 summons. 5 times he's been summoned. He's not shown up. Why are opposition politicians not showing up? The PM says that they have something to hide. That's why they're not showing up. J.B. Mathur.
It is a fact known to everyone that the agencies ED, CBI is being grossly misused by the present ruling dispensation, attacking the opposition. Wherever the government is not of the BJP, they are attacking the opposition leaders. All that is truth. Now, well, even in spite of all that, we were able to overcome. They tried to topple the government. Even the governor was tried to be, tried a bit to hold it on, but still they were under since constitution still says and rule still says, they had to comply with the rules, and they couldn't topple the government. But in some other states it has happened.
If as you say, BJP is a completely immoral brigade, they use IT, CBI, ED, intimidate the opposition, they're out to get opposition state governments wherever they are. Why are people not voting against the BJP? Why is that not showing in election result after election result? If, as you say, India is on the cusp of, not being a democracy anymore, it's on the verge of being a dictatorship, why are people not, responding to that? Why are people not voting out the BJP then?
No, I'll tell you. See, in UPA, we were the ones who had done exemplary work in terms of taking a rights-based approach, whether it is right to information, right to food. Shazia Elmi was talking about 80,000 crore ration being given. Whose project? It is a project of UPA. It is a food security. And then she was saying about how the poverty, the poverty is being alleviated. But the fact is, where do India stand at the global hunger index? We are going from back behind. We are going behind each day. We are going behind. Okay. Whether it's global hunger index, whether it's media, global press index, everywhere we are going behind. Okay. And that is a fact. In terms of one thing I agree. Let me complete. One thing I agree. In terms of propagating this NDA government, and Mr. Modi is way ahead. Nobody can beat them in terms of projecting and propagating, but that is not the truth. That is not the fact. And UPA was behind that. UPA did exceptionally good work.
It can't all be propagating and projecting an image, because ultimately people are voting for what is there on the ground or what is not there on the ground, right? It has to be there. Now, the point is, the PM also said that the BJP government has built 4 crore homes for rural poor and 80 lakh homes for urban poor. In the entire period, 60 years leading up to 2014, his claim is that there was only 3 crore houses built for rural poor. What stopped UPA from building at a much faster pace? He said, if had it been left to the Congress, it would have taken 100 years to build 4 crore more new homes.
Yeah. See, Zakka, I don't know from where the Prime Minister has got his data. That has to be verified. See, if you look at the scheme which he speaks about, the Pradhan Mantri something, I don't know, its name is in Hindi. It is the state, whatever, the name, the building of house. It is the money that is given by the Prime Minister's scheme. You cannot build any house with 1 lakh or 1,50,000. You cannot build any house. In the state of Tamil Nadu, it's costing around 12 lakhs or 13 lakhs. The entire balance amount is being spent by the state government. It should not be called the Prime Minister's housing scheme. It should be the Chief Minister's housing scheme. I think this is the situation across the country. You are talking about the ED, CBI and that thing. ED, Enforcement Directorate, is an extortionate department. It is not Enforcement Directorate. why the enforcement directorate has not touched any one of the BJP politicians? Ajit Pawar, who was he? He was the most corrupt politician few months back, and now he is made the finance minister of the Maharashtra government. What about Praful Patel? He is again most corrupt man, rubbing shoulders with the prime minister on an aerodrome. Again, Chhagan Bhujbal, the cases were withdrawn once he joins the BJP front.
Okay.
What about Hemant Bishwa? He was again the most corrupt man. Was any case registered against
let
Hemant
her
Bishwa?
respond.
Just because he
Shazia
joined the
respond.
BJP.
Or
No,
it's like
let me
BJP has
finish.
this
Let
washing
me complete.
machine where you
Let me
clean up
respond.
all the
Zakka,
corrupt,
Zakka, let me
allegedly
complete,
corrupt.
Zakka.
You just
Hemant
go
Bishwa,
on and on.
the
Don't
most
get
No,
anger.
no, you've made that charge,
He
Sarvanan.
was-
Let
he
her
was-
respond.
Let me
Yeah,
finish this.
Don't indulge in corruption.
you've made
No,
that.
No, let me finish.
It's very simple.
Shazia, so Ajit Pawar, Chhagan Bhujbal, all of these people had cases against them pending many
I've heard
years.
this, no,
How come suddenly when they join the BJP or join hands with the
Zakka,
BJP, it's all
this is-
forgotten?
Yeah. Yes. You know what stops them from going to court against them? Nothing stops them. But the fact of the matter is, we've seen stashes and mountains of
That
cash.
is under your control.
What about
That is
those?
No,
why-
Sarvanan, one
What
second,
about
please.
inside policy?
One at a
That
time, please,
that
please,
everybody-
please.
No, you'll have to be quiet. You know, just because you're in opposition and you're corrupt to the degree that you are, will not absolve you. You have no immunity. Has there ever been a politician who's been accused of corruption with stashes of money found on him, who said it's not witch hunting? In the history of this country, you tell me. And as for Prime Minister, I want to add one more thing. This is the first time in our history that a Prime Minister has led an absolute clean cabinet. The people you're talking about, and I'm sure the ED or CBI, whichever the agencies are probing, should not go slow and will not go slow. But there's not been one scam out of Prime Minister's cabinet. Any minister, any department, each and every one. For the first time, I remember being an anchor before that, and all I did was talk about scams after scams, which is what's happening in every state, which is not ruled by the BJP.
Okay.
But at the center, on the Prime Minister's watch, he's led the cleanest government ever, the most progressive, the government that promises the most, and not just that.
Yeah, let
delivers
me
it
go to
too.
Professor Sanjay
You talked
Kumar.
about, but let me finish.
I want 2 points of clarification. I know. I've given you enough time. Let me please. No. Let me please. You spoke about multidimensional poverty. Let me go to Professor Sanjay Kumar, please. Come on. Let's get other guests involved as well. Now, the point is, Professor Kumar, you can say what Modi said in the floor of the House as electoral rhetoric, or he's being bombastic about 370 seats. I was looking back at all the general elections. We talk about 1984 and 405 seats that Congress had won. Let's leave that election aside. The only 2 times any prime minister has got over 350 was in 1971, when Indira Gandhi won more than 360 seats, and Nehru had it once in one of the general elections, again above 350. If, as the Prime Minister has claimed today and made this prediction of 370 for the BJP, just A, where are those numbers going to come from? And B, if it does happen, how big would that be given the context of the last 10, 15 general elections that we've seen?
Zakka, I don't think we should be taking so seriously the numbers, that 370. I don't think that BJP may be able to reach that mark. But let's look at the the message behind that. I think the message behind that is BJP has emerged very strong. BJP is sure to win the 2024 elections in a big way. I think the message he's trying to give is that BJP's electoral victory in 2024 would be much bigger compared to 2019. In 2019, BJP had got 303 seats. So the message is that it is going to be a much bigger victory for BJP in 2024 compared to 2019. As you said, where are these numbers coming from? As I said, I don't believe that BJP will touch 370, but my own sense is that BJP's tally is increasing in 2024 compared to 2019, and I can see there are few states where BJP can improve upon. One, UP, BJP along with the allies had 60 to 63 seats, so there is a lot of scope for BJP to improve in UP. BJP might pick up a few seats here and there. So I can see BJP going up, adding roughly say 18 to 20 seats compared to its
Okay. Okay. All right. We've
Tally of
lost.
2019. But as I said, confidence that BJP is winning 370 and trying to symbolize it with abolition of Article 370.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see if it is rhetoric or if it is actually reality, and that I guess we'll know at the end of May once the election cycle ends. In the meanwhile, I want to thank our guests, but I agree with what Professor Sanjay Kumar is saying that A, it's a projection of confidence, and B, whether or not the BJP gets to 370, the important point I think the Prime Minister is trying to make is that election after election, from 14 to 19 and then 19 to 24, the BJP's majority has only increased. And this goes against conventional wisdom, which is that Indian elections are anti-incumbent. Generally, people vote out the incumbent. It's very rarely that the incumbent has gone on to get bigger and bigger majorities through the course of his or her tenure.